Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel, and what a beautiful morning for a drive in the Lamborghini.
Right Lee, what we got going on here then buddy?
Right mate, we've got some Alfa Romeo pistons here, haven't we?
Yep.
For a very awkward customer, so it's got to be right.
Yeah.
Paul Dove.
He's a bit of a can't swear, I'm going to say.
Wow, we all know what he is.
He's a bit of a job's worth, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. So, I'm going to explain on your behalf, Paul.
Thank you, mate.
Apparently these are, what, 1/2 mil too proud at the edge?
Yeah.
And you're a bit worried that when you put the gasket on, that it's going to sort of foul the edge here.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what we've done is we've made a sort of radius tool, and we've gone down 25 thou.
Yep.
Can you see that? So what that's going to do now, we just keep the profile of this dome here, so we keep the compression right. And that's just going to, so a bit of clearance there for the corner of the cylinder head, because am I right, the cylinder head overhangs the bore slightly?
Yeah, the problem is pistons stick out like 24 thou above the liners.
Ah.
So with a gasket, we'll potentially have enough clearance, but we want to make sure we've got enough clearance. We'll give ourselves some leeway.
Right.
So by doing what you've done there, we're not sort of guessing. We can sort of then put them back, dummy build it back together.
I see.
And then just double check we've got enough piston dead clearance.
Yeah.
And with the head gasket, it's sort of like your safety net almost.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I have done that before on a few pistons on various things where you bored it right out, and then obviously the cylinder head is sort of, when they're proud to start with, and the cylinder head overhangs the bore.
Usually in Alphas, you don't have any protrusion. Well, so you've got protrusion from the dome, but not the actual edge of the piston here. So
yeah, that's right.
But it's had so much off the block, they just stick out. So.
Okay. And also, Paul, you tell me that the valves are very, very close to the pockets. Is that right? The edge of the pockets?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're just taking the pocket grooves out about another millimetre. So what I'm doing, I'll show you how to set it up on the mill in a minute. But what I've done is used a cutter that's 2 mil bigger in diameter than the original. Mm-hmm. So we're taking it all the way around 1 mil bigger, basically.
What would I do without you, mate?
Well, I don't know, mate. Same as what I'd do without you.
Probably
struggle.
Probably not worry.
Yeah. So here's one that I haven't done. I've done the reliefs, the cutout reliefs in these. So I'll just take you over to the mill and show you what we do.
We'll walk over to the mill.
So this is going to be a little bit like how I do the Cosworth pockets, except really, ideally, what we want to do is make a bar that's a nice slide fit through there, 2 holes in, and then we can put it on our jig here that we use for the Cosworths. But because we don't do these very often, I'm not going to go that far, so I'm going to use 2 pins.
Yeah.
And there's going to be, I suppose there's going to be plenty of people that comment down below on how this is wrong, but I've done loads like this, so don't worry. So what we're going to do, we use the pins to sit against these studs, okay? So we know it's right. And then what we do is, it's not easy this, Paul, not easy at all.
Big bill.
Big pill, yeah. So we're just going to clamp them down like this, but it's a little bit easy, a little bit hard because everything's a bit on the piss. And it's all a bit downhill, so once we've got that clamped, I use this to get the correct distance. Now, this is all a bit Heath Robinson, I know that, but it works for me. And I know it irritates some people in the comments, so why not do it, eh? So we just nip that evenly, take our little spacer tool out. And that, in theory now, is the right distance, the same distance I've set all the others up.
Yeah.
The mill is all set up, so all I'm going to do is just ease it down. Now, the way I've set it up is you can adjust the angle of this. So what I do is I bring the tool down and adjust it so the tool sits flat on there, right?
Yep.
And then what I do, because I'm only easing these out and I'm not cutting the
You're not cutting
the
that
cutout from start. I'll just move it very, like a couple of degrees over that way.
Yeah.
So when we do reach the bottom, it only cuts right on the very back edge and doesn't start to cut up here.
Right.
All right. Because we don't want to take anything more out of that.
No.
Out of there.
You got your safety goggles, mate? Or
Yeah, got my safety goggles, mate. I'll get those on in a minute.
Thank you.
I'll get you to angle the camera so you can't see that I haven't got them on. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we fire up. Very slowly feed it down. There we go, mate. So that's 2 mm diameter bigger now.
Beautiful. Look at that.
I hope the customer's happy with that.
Yeah, well.
And now what we do is turn it round, because these, fortunately, these cutouts, exhaust and inlet, are the same size.
On
and
these,
the same space.
size, yeah.
So all we've got to do is just turn the piston round, set it up the same. Jobs are good.
Spot on.
Right, guys, thumbnail and title time. So yesterday I had a phone call off a gentleman. His friend owns a Cosworth engine. Now this Cosworth engine has been kept at a college. It's been kept for as a bit of an exhibition piece, really, and it's been there for 25 years. Been stored away indoors in the warm. It's got a little bit of surface rust here and there, he said, and some dust on it, obviously. They've had the rocker cover off just to make sure there's no corrosion or anything inside, but there isn't. But it's absolutely brand new. It's got loom injectors, manifolds, turbocharger, the whole lot, all completely unused. Now, they don't really know much about Cosworth, so I think they've heard of us from the channel, know that we deal with a lot of Cosworth, so he's rang me up for a bit of advice. Now, I have seen this engine on Facebook. I think the guy put it on Facebook just to see what it's worth. He's been sort of asking around, he's rang a couple of specialists, and apparently they say that they've offered him money for it, but not a lot of money. Now, the only reason I'm putting this on a video is because this sort of thing annoys me, really, because this engine has not got a value as such. You know, it's a 30-odd-year-old engine out of a Cosworth, but you've got to bear in mind that it is brand new. So even if you strip that engine, I would have thought to use, I said to him, look, it's going to be, you're going to probably need to strip it, replace gaskets and seals and what have you anyway, and have a look inside the bores, make sure that there's no surface rust in there. You know, maybe take the pistons out. So you're probably going to have to sort of strip and put it back together to make it any good to use. But it's a little bit like these cars now, you know, it's a collector's piece, you know, it hasn't got a particular value, it's worth what someone's willing to pay. I said, but you've got to bear in mind that this year alone, I've had 3 donor engines come in here from customers that have paid over £6,000 for these engines that 5 years ago were probably £2,500, £3,000. And they're no good whatsoever. They need building. You know, from us, it's going to be about £5,000 to go through it properly and make it look nice. And even then, it isn't original. So that engine you've got there, I would say anyone that's going to buy that is probably going to keep it in the corner of their flashy showroom or something, clean it all up and keep it as a bit of an expensive ornament. But the annoying thing is he's ringing up specialists, he's getting advice off people, and I have to say I've seen the guy's put a bit of an ad on there saying, look, what do you think this is worth, on Facebook, and I've read through the comments, and there's not one person on there that's saying it's worth over about £5,000. People saying, oh, I'd give you 4 for it, and he said he's even been offered off guys in the know, he's been offered £1,500. Now this is a bit naughty, guys, because at the end of the day, if you strip that motor, we all know at the moment, whether it's all worth it or not, it's what it's fetching. The block on its own, a brand new 200 block, is going to be £2,000 plus. The cylinder head is going to be similar money. Crankshaft is going to be £1,000 to £1,500 for a standard brand new crank, unused. You know, the thing's worth well over that just in those 3 bits. So don't take the P, you know what I mean? I said to him, look, I'd be disappointed if you stuck that in auction or something, and a lot of you guys who know your Cosworths and that and classic cars may comment down below tearing into me saying that I'm completely wrong and I'm talking out my ass, but I'd be very disappointed if that motor there didn't see under 15,000 quid, because you've got to bear in mind, if you buy a knackered one for over 6,000 and then you go through it, there's 11, 12 straight away, and then you haven't got an original, untouched, unstarted Cosworth engine, and that's just for a bare engine, mind. This thing's got turbo, manifolds, loom, injectors, all the rest of it. So yeah, don't take the piss, guys. You know damn well what it's going to be worth, and as I say, I'd be disappointed if it went for auction and didn't fetch less than 15,000 quid, but you're looking at least 10 to 15,000 quid. It could even fetch more. So yeah, we're all out here to make money, guys. It's all business, but at the end of the day, I think trying to earn money for doing a job is fair enough. Selling parts, absolute fair enough, but don't try and take the mick out of someone that doesn't really know what they've got. You know, I'm all for everyone earning money. If they've got something that's worth good money, I wouldn't want to steal that off them to try and make good money on it. You know, I think that's a bit naughty. So yeah, just my opinion, guys, but comment down below, see what you think about that. Right, guys, what we got here, we have a little oil squirter jet. This is the last machining process to do on the block, so we're going to fit these oil jets. Now these are, I get these from Julian Godfrey, the same person as I get the long studs from. So these are the long studs that we use, you know all about that. These are the BMW jets that we use for the Cosworth now. So this is the BMW part number, if you ever fancy doing it or you want to look up that. These are the ones, I'm not entirely sure what they're out of. They're probably just a bit of a standard BMW item, but as you can see, they're a 17mm diameter. They are an M8 by 1 thread, so they're nice and simple to fit. That's why we started using them. Once upon a time they used to have the WRC ones. Don't use them, bit complicated to fit, and you've got to I think you've got to be very, very careful, otherwise they can touch the crank. But these are a lovely little item. Also the advantage with these is you can sort of point them wherever you want them once they're fitted, and you just sort of Loctite the thread in and jobs are good. And so let's head over to the mill now and I'll show you exactly what we do to fit these things. As you can see, I've got my drawer in here, got my tool in especially for doing this. So you've got the 17.1 slot drill to put the flat in the base of the block, and we've got this nice long centre drill here. We've got well actually I bought 4 of these. We've got 4 of the tapping drills, the 7mm drills for the M8, and that is about it really. So what we do, we're going to fit them into the base of the block here, so they squirt oil into the bottom of the piston, and what that does, that eliminates that Heath Robinson spray bar that has joined onto the usual 4x4 oil pumps. You know, it's sort of a bit of a brazed on thing that goes either side of cap 2 and 4, and generally sort of it sort of squirts oil in the general direction of the base of the pistons. But what we do is we eliminate that pickup pipe, eliminate that pump, and we use the WRC pump, which is out of the later Escort Cosworths, because they run these oil jets as standard. So that's what we're doing, guys. We're going to put them down. We're going to put one either side of cap 2 and one either side of cap 4, and when the thing's assembled, what you do is you sort of point them where you want them on the piston and then just tighten them up, job done. And as I say, that eliminates, you can run then just a standard Pinto pickup pipe with none of the Heath Robinson brazed on section. So what we do, first step with this, we've set it up obviously on its face, and what we've got down here is the oil gallery that runs all the way through the block, and you can just about make out the oil gallery down here. You see like a raised section runs all the way through there. So what we want to do to centre that, we sort of centre it from the back and the front, right in the middle. Just get that drill right in the middle of that oil gallery, okay? Obviously checking both sides. Then we clamp the block. And then what we want to do is we want to move that drill, once we've zeroed on the screen there, we want to move that drill 2 millimeters to the back. So we want to run on the very back. Now the reason for that, running to the back side of the oil gallery, is when we do the flat for the 17.1, we get more meat basically, especially on this raised lug here. We just get more area for the squirter to seat on. If you sort of bring it over central, you can get a bit thin around this area, and the same down here. So we just move it 2 mil back, and that eliminates that issue. That also brings the actual jet itself, the nozzle, back a little bit further. So that's what we're going to do. So we've centered that up, as you can see, zeroed it, and now what we're going to do, we're just going to bring the block back 2 millimeters. Okay, there we go. And just zero that, and now you can see that drill there is towards the back side of that hole, which is absolutely ideal. Now we're going to put in our center drill. We're going to find the center first of all of cap 2. Once we've found the center of that, we are then going to drill the hole 27 millimeters either side of the center of that cap, and that's about where we're going to go. So what we've done, all I've done is I've touched on either side here and found the centre, zeroed the x-axis. Now we're going to move over 27 millimetres. One way. First of all, we put the 17.1 flat down, and the reason we do that first is because obviously the back of the block sort of curves around like that, and what you find is if you put the centre down first, it will want to wander away from there. So we put that down, you can see we've cleared that now, put the nice flat on the bottom, then we put the centre drill down. Now we're going to run the normal drill down. This is the tapping drill, the 7 mil. And that has run lovely into see that now has run into the oil gallery. It's got plenty of meat there to stick a thread on, and we run the tap down, and that is all done on that one. So there we can see we've finished that one. Got a good old thread in the back of that, so we're just going to go over and do the next one. So all we're looking for is obviously on the front edge here, because the cast sort of tapers down towards the block slightly, you just got to make sure you get enough of a seat on there to seal on the base of the jet. So next one we're going to do here, as you can see, we've got a baffle. All we've had to do is just use our Dremel and cut a little piece out the base of there, just so we've got enough room to put the oil jet. So we're just going to do this one and show you how we get on with that. So there we go, guys. You can see I've done all 4 now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this block over on the hone there, finish hone it, then we can give this to Paul on the engine stand to give a thorough clean, paint, and that block is all ready to assemble. Well, once again, guys, thanks ever so much for watching. It's Friday, and as you may well know, I'm off all next week. I'm going to Centre Parks with the family all week. I have thought ahead, so don't panic. I've done 2 videos especially for next week. One of them's a little beauty, bit of a warranty issue, so look out for that one. And I'm probably going to get the boys out there to do another video one of the days. So yeah, look out for that, guys. Once again, have a great weekend. You take care, guys. Cheers.